Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories, and today is a fan favorite, of course, D&D Players. What was yours or a fellow player's how in the heck did you pull that off moment, part 2. Now, of course, if you have one to share down in the comments below, please do so. We are always reading it. But because the algorithm gods would hate us if we said the actual F-bomb, heck is gonna be the way to go. Let's get started. I used to run a character called Silk. It all started when, as kids, we ran a campaign based on the Belgariad books. That campaign didn't last more than a year or so, but some of the characters lived on. Fast forward many years later, Silk was now a level 13 thief who adventures with a barbarian by the name of Cull. We had played these two guys in multiple campaigns, and they were very much a team, even if their origins may have been mired in blatant copyright infringement. So we are at the end of a very complex campaign. The party is Silk, Cull, a dwarven cleric, and this min-maxed abomination of monk magic user fighter. The dwarf was down, the monk and Cull were bound by some wizard dude, and I was left to defeat a nigh unkillable cyclopean naga monster, or was I? TPK time. So before rolling initiative, I outlined my plan. I would roll the highest on initiative, then leap from my hiding spot backwards using my ring of jumping. Whilst traveling backwards, I would throw my magical dagger at the naga, rolling a 20 to hit its eye and blind it. Then I would roll a 20 on my acrobatics check to spin and connect with the wizard, breaking his concentration and ending up with me on top of him in a pin position with my sword at his throat. At which point, I would force him to release Cull and the monk, and we could finish up before the rest of his guys arrived. The players laughed and the DM shrugged. Go on then. I got the highest roll on initiative. I threw the dagger, got a 20, and dealt max damage. I made a 20 on my acrobatics check and an extra attack roll, which I hit, and ended up pinning the wizard to the floor with my sword to his throat. Then, of course, I had to add a quip. Called it. It still gets brought up 20 years later whenever any character I have gets in a jam. I will always describe a massively unlikely outcome and how I will roll 20s and it will all work out. It, never does though. I had a cleric magic user, 1st edition, and we were fighting Rakasha, which are pretty much immune to magic. I used spells that affected the room we were in, lighting huge drapes on fire and burning them, stones shaping the floor and dropping them for fall damage, etc. I killed most of them when, as a spellcaster, I should have been useless. TLDR. Saved from a TPK by getting the group to use up consumable resources that normally get forgotten. Way back in the 2nd edition, our mid-level party had set up camp in a cave on a cliff with a ledge path leading up to it. The previous day, while doing some recon on the bad guy's stronghold, after getting to the point where we were all beat up and low on resources, I foolishly did something that led to the bad guys tracking us down a day or two later. This was in the good old days where people took time to heal, even with magic. It also meant that our clerics had blown all nearly their casting on heals. One time, my party killed the king of a major faction. The king was level 20. If I remember correctly, we were, level 2? How? Well, double nat 20 to hit, followed by a nat 1 poison save. What's worse is that this wasn't the first time something like this has happened in the party, and it's typically one specific party member. This one particular party member has incredibly dumb dice luck, and we know he's not fudging his rolls either. Okay, script guy's coming in here for a commentary moment. Yeah, my son is like that when it comes to rolling up characters. He always rolls really high for ability scores, so when I ran an in-person game, I had him roll in front of me. I watched him, with my dice, roll 18, 18, 18, 17, 16, 14. Absolutely insane, and coming from the narrator, I can't wait to have kids that play D&D with me one day. Playing a Halo D&D game. Had a character who used a flamethrower from Halo Wars. Basic Hellbringer. Used the underbarrel grenade launcher to flashbang a pair of jackal snipers and rushed the enemy. Ended up soloing a squad of elites and jackals before anyone could help. Later on in the campaign, I ended up so powerful that I could keep up with Spartan characters relatively easily. Any mission I went on with Marines and even ODST characters, I would carry them. I knew I was sapping the fun for everyone else, so I asked the DM for a situation where I could kill my character. A few missions later, I hooked explosives up to myself and ran into a group of Zealot-class elites and a pair of hunters. My napalm tank exploded and doused any enemies who survived the blast with sticky fire. Rip Carmine, you lived far longer than I expected. My group was sailing a boat to another island to deliver some cargo. On our way, one of the party members was fishing and almost failed a strength check to reel in a big fish. So I, the druid, decided to prepare enlarge reduce the next day. That day, a group of sharks led by a megalodon attacked the ship, ramming it, trying to sink us. It was supposed to be an escape puzzle for the party to try to get away before they damaged the ship too much, but I had other plans. I casted Reduce on it, making it a large creature instead of huge, and then thorn whipped it onto the ship. Since it had no walking speed, it couldn't move anywhere on the deck of the ship. All it could do was aimlessly thrash at the party, and thus we were easily able to kill it. We now have 300 pounds of shark meat and have renamed our ship Shark's Bane. Guess you guys did need a bigger boat. Sort of a negative version of how the fuck did you pull that off? But I was playing D&D online one afternoon and stepped out for a few minutes to go eat lunch, as any normal person does. As I was leaving, the party was preparing to use teleport via plants to travel to another city. When I came back, we were all in completely the wrong city. In enemy territory. With many wanted posters for us posted nearby. Apparently the druid player hadn't been paying attention to where we said we were going. That was actually a really fun session though. We got into a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans just trying to escape. So I just had one today. I'm playing a changeling rogue in a group of 5 and we're exploring a cave with the help of an NPC wizard. The cave was a place that had been used in a ritual to pull us from our home places into this campaign setting. One of our party members showed the NPC wizard a goat horn from that cave, which was covered in runes. The NPC muttered a few words, and then the goat horn burst into flames and became a pile of ash. The question posed to the party was this: how did this happen? My character had a -2 modifier to intelligence, so I didn't expect to contribute much, but the DMs let something slip in character when pressed by a separate PC. I didn't set it on fire, I just restored its point in time. Right then, it clicked for my character, so she calmly said this: so, what you're inferring is that these runes, when activated, freeze an item in time? And when activated again, it causes that item to experience everything that would have normally happened to it in that time? Because if that's the case, then that horn was frozen in time, incinerated in fire, and then left alone. Your reactivation of the runes then triggered it to finally experience the incineration, and now all that's left is a pile of ash. My DM's jaw dropped to the floor, and when she picked it back up, she simply asked, how the hell did you figure that out? All I said out of character was, you spoke one sentence. That let me understand the whole paragraph. I'm really impressed by this one. This one blew my socks off. I'm not even wearing any socks. I could picture proof that one. So as this story goes, We're playing 2nd edition D&D, retro style, with our dad DMing, and I'm playing a druid. I'm traveling at the back of the group. We have a monk halfling at the front, a fighter behind him, an NPC, a centaur barbarian, and finally me, bringing up the rear. Currently, I'm on low health. We head down a narrow cave that comes up to a pool with 2 branching tunnels. We are cautious of the pool and hug the wall as we make our way to the first tunnel. It turns out to be a dead end, just long enough for all of us to make our way in. That's when a lesser hydra emerges from the pool. Initiatives are rolled, and I'm dead last behind the centaur in the order. I figure, I have a snowball's chance in hell in surviving past this round, so I concocted a Hail Mary plan. I jump on the back of the centaur with both their scimitar and mine in hand, and the centaur charges full speed and bucks me off at high velocity at the hydra. I impale it with both swords, cast heat metal, and duck out. It gets to us, and our DM actually asks if we are going through with said plan, being warned that if it fails, I die. 1 second of hyperspeed thought, yes, I answer. So I jump on the centaur's back and we make our rolls. The centaur's player rolls a nat 20 and I roll an 18. I sail through the air majestically, successfully making a dex save to impale the hydra and not George of the Jungle myself, and successfully stick the landing, dealing over 60 damage in 1 hit. I cast heat metal and successfully bail out back onto the centaur's back. And we do a dramatic "Hi-ho, Silva, away!" pose and watch as the hydra screeches in agony and falls back into the pool, dead. Everyone at the table was left speechless as we all wonder collectively, how the did you do that? No one at the bar believed our story, but they said we told it well. With that said, everybody, this is Brian Vaughn, VA, checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell so you too can get notified when we post a new video or go live. And if you have a moment you'd love to share with us, do so in the comments below. Make sure to tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help us God. Or you will suffer the consequences of nat ones for the rest of your pathetic lives. Sorry, hold on, I gotta, get back out of character with my evil lich there. And of course, if you want to come say hi to me, Brian Vaughn VA, links are in the description below. I'm usually on Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. Now, I always end things on a positive note. These cool events that everyone is pulling off, I encourage you not to steal the spotlight from somebody else, not to try to willy-nilly something out of somebody else's hands, but to enhance the games that you play. Don't be afraid of looking like a jack-off or trying to steal a little thunder, because in D&D, the whole party is the main character. Krillin exists, Tien Shinhan exists, Yamcha exists. Yeah, nobody likes them anymore. I love them. The side characters in Dragon Ball Z probably have cooler moments than the main characters do, and so should you. So if you're that bard that's plucky and the comedy relief, just sitting in the back, never having the limelight in a combat situation, go forth and try something cool. Throw your loot at somebody's head. Maybe have a couple daggers in there just for GP. I don't know. Do something. Have fun with it, and don't worry about the consequences, because at the end of the day, it's about being creative, having a laugh with your friends and family, and sometimes even making an ass out of yourself while trying to do something cool and ending up fucking it all up. I love you all, be safe out there, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.